Hello everyone and welcome to C Basics. My name is Steve Bishop and hopefully this video series is going to introduce you to the concepts and the basic parts of the C language. Now if you don't know who I am, that's perfectly fine. I am a Microsoft SQL Server database administrator, so I am fully capable and flexible of utilizing the SQL Server. I'm also a full stack .NET developer, but I do have an emphasis on ASP.NET MVC. My official title is Senior Software Architect for Gartman Technical Services. So here's an introduction to what this course is all about. First, what is this series about? Well, this series is going to be about learning the basics of the C# language. And there's going to be a little bit about the .NET framework, what Visual Studio is, as well as object-oriented programming. So what is this series not about? Well, this is an introduction to some basic concepts only, so you will not be learning about how to make a complete application from start to finish. This is more about laying the foundation for understanding the C# language. So why should you watch this series? You should watch this series if you are interested in understanding the basic concepts of the C# language. That way you can be better prepared for the intermediate and advanced courses to follow. So what do you need to watch this course? Well, I assume you already have a computer with a monitor, but you will also need access to a PC that you are permitted to install software onto, and you'll need lots of time. This series is broken down into 7 sections. First, it's the introduction, which just happens to be this video. Then we're going to go on to installing and using Visual Studio. Now this is not going to be a complete immersion into Visual Studio. It's just going to give you some of the basics you need to understand about Visual Studio in order to use it and watch this video series. Next, we'll go over some basic concepts. And once again, I need to inform you that this is not going to be every single thing that could be categorized as a basic concept. Then we're going to dive into control flow because that is the heart of the C# language, and really any coding language for that matter. You need to know how the code is formed to follow along certain steps to produce different outcomes. Then we're going to dig into something called classes. And classes are a very nice structure in the C# language as well as other object-oriented programming languages. Oh, that reminds me, this is also a course on object-oriented programming. That's because the C# language is an object-oriented programming language. So we definitely need to get into what object-oriented programming is all about. Then we're going to wrap it up with just a few odds and ends that didn't really kind of fall into any of these other sections. Hopefully you enjoy this series and you follow along just fine, but if you have any problems, please feel free to drop me a line in the comments section of each video. I will be making the work files available to you so that you can open them up and see for yourself what the code looks like when it's done.